All right, all right, all right. Today's gonna be a big day for the Skyline. I'm super excited, I can't wait. It's gonna be a nice new upgrade. I'm gonna be installing it pretty much the whole day. And let me show you what we're working with. Today we're gonna be installing the new pieces. Downpipe catback exhaust. All new stainless steel, straight from Japan. We're gonna be installing that today, and we're gonna be pulling out the old one that's in there. So let me show you the old one real quick, and then we'll get started. I thought I was slick and I was gonna get a cool shot. So I hooked my phone up to the selfie stick and I slid it through the bottom of the car, thinking I can get the exhaust, but it kind of came out crappy. So whatever. Next step, I'm gonna go ahead and drive up on these blocks, and then I'm gonna jack up the front and then jack up the rear. And then I'm gonna put the jack stands underneath, and then I'll give you a quick look and see where the exhaust sits. If this is your first time to my channel, you may have missed the last video of me talking about the box and unwrapping it. So I'll just give you a quick overlook. Gonna be installing this today. So as I'm jacking the car up, I'm trying to think in my head of any issues I can anticipate. And the first issue I'm thinking about is maybe the bolts on the downpipe. Maybe they're seized or stripped. So I got some brand new ones from Home Depot, and hopefully I could just spray them with WD-40 and they come off. And the second issue I could foresee, I'm thinking about the width of this dual pipe. Looks like it's like 8.5 inches. And that's gonna have to fit in this slot right here, which is, looks like maybe 9, so it might fit. I also got this LED piece sticking out, and the exhaust is kind of hitting this area here. So maybe if anything, I'll have to cut a little bit, even though it's already a little cut. But it might just fit, because this comes out in an angle. The other one should come straight out also. This is the other exhaust. What I'm gonna do is jack up the front first and remove everything on this side, disconnect it just so it's hanging on the hangers. So I'll disconnect it at the downpipe, take the test pipe off, and then just have the cap back hanging, and then I'll jack up the back half and take that off after. So I'll take the test pipe off, and then I'll work my way up to the front and take off the downpipe. Just pulled off the test pipe, and here's the old cat that we removed originally, and there's a test pipe I just pulled back off. It was fairly easy because everything was new hardware, so that was only a few minutes. Now I'm gonna move on to the downpipe. For the downpipe, there's 3 bolts that connect to the back of the turbo tube, and I think they're 14 millimeters. Then these are 2 12 millimeters that hold the hanger up. Gotta remove those. I think I might do the front ones first. So let's go ahead and pop those off. Those are the ones that might give me some issues, so I'm gonna spray them with some WD-40. All right, where I'm currently at is I sprayed down the bolts to the downpipe, and then I used the new nut to chase the threads on the outside, just to kind of break loose any rust, and then I sprayed it again. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my 14 millimeter socket on there and wish me luck. It's a little rusty, but the threads are able to kind of accept the new nut, so we'll see what happens. Definitely pretty crusty, as you can see. So let's go ahead and see if we can break these off. Success! All right. So we got the downpipe off, guys, so that's good. So the next step I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna wire brush where the gasket sits, and then I'm gonna spray it down with brake cleaner, make sure it's nice and clean. And then also, if you're ever doing the downpipe on the RB25 or any of those engines, you gotta be careful because sometimes these studs will actually back out. So if the bolt is really tight, you're gonna be loosening it, and you're gonna think you're loosening it, but the whole stud will come out. It looks like these are in there pretty good, but I remember my 240, I had one of these do that. So just keep an eye out for that in case that happens. But these, luckily, they came out pretty good. And here's the gasket, pretty demolished. And let me show you what the test pipes look like. Or I mean the old downpipe. We got the old downpipe right here. You can tell it's a little old. I know it's definitely aftermarket, but I'm not sure what brand. Part of me feels like I might be downgrading, going from a Japanese aftermarket part to a ISR aftermarket part. But at least it's new. Yeah, if you flip it over, it looks pretty good. You guys have any idea to test if this is titanium or not? Because it has that gold look. I wonder if it is. I hope I'm not fucking myself and putting on a crappier part, even though it's a newer part. Let me know what you guys think, if it's titanium or if you know the brand. Because it doesn't look that bad, honestly. My next step, I'm gonna put a little bit of wax on the gasket. I put a little bit of wax on there. I'm gonna go ahead and install it onto the turbo elbow. And the wax actually helps the gasket of staying on top so it doesn't fall down from gravity while I install the downpipe. So basically I'm going to install it over to the studs, and the wax is just going to help hold it in place while I install the whole downpipe. It's a nice little aerospace trick. Works pretty good. Damn, everything was going so smooth, guys. We were doing pretty good. I ran into this issue where these holes don't line up to the studs on the elbow from the turbo. So I kind of drilled them out a little bit, but I kind of fucked the gasket up. So that's that. But I'm going to try to use some liquid gasket on it. Maybe that'll help. I don't know if this is high temp enough, but better than nothing. I'll at least try that. And then the downpipe, I put it up on the flange where the elbow is. And when I mount it up, it's actually the back half where it connects to this is actually hitting the heat shield. So now I have to pull the heat shield or maybe try to bend it up or something. So yeah, now I'm into those issues. So I'll keep working on it and see if I can fix those. Whew! Damn, I'm sweating, guys. Dying down here. I was making good time, and then the whole gasket and downpipe kind of screwed me up a little bit. So I got the downpipe fully installed. I started the Skyline to make sure there's no exhaust leaks, and everything seems pretty good. There's the downpipe installed, ISR, and then I just finished installing the test pipe, cat delete, and that's all set. I'm going to start the car again to make sure there's no leaks on that, and then I'll continue with the cat back. Slowly getting there. Alright, guys. Just finished dropping the whole cat back. Everything's loose and out. Look what we got here. A big old snake. got that one out. Whew, sweaty and dirty. Whew, all right. Definitely have to fight this thing a little bit to get it out. It looks so much longer than the new one. Hopefully it's the right one. Resonator. And the muffler. It's actually not that bad. It looks pretty good still. Old one, new one. Whew, guys, I am dying. I think it's only 85 degrees out, but I'm fucking sweating, I'm dirty, rolling around the floor. I've probably been up and down like 100 times, but we're just about done. I have to pull the heat shield, I have to pull the downpipe. There's the exhaust behind me over there. Ooh, that sun's bright. Yep, there's the exhaust pulled out. And in 1 second, I'll show you the new installed exhaust. Yeah, that definitely wasn't easy. It never is. It's always a struggle. Nothing ever goes correctly. All right. I might trim that a little bit more. You can see it's kind of almost hitting there. 3.5 inch dual exhaust. Let's get underneath it. There's where the silencers go. Got my grommets there. Got that there. Flanges. Another grommet back that way. Now let's make our way to the front. So I'm not sure if it's the angle of the downpipe or the angle of the test pipe, or maybe I put it in backwards. But when I had it on with the other exhaust, it wasn't that bad. It was a little bit of a kind of angled fit, but I got it to work with no leaks. But for some odd reason, all these angles are quite a bit off. So every time I put the next piece on, I had to pull it in a different direction. But it doesn't look like anything's hitting, nothing's rubbing. I did have an exhaust leak on that flange right there. And then I had an exhaust leak on that flange right there, but I put a fat gasket on that one, so hopefully that one's good. I'll have to order another one for that piece. Then we got that big bend right there. And right towards the back where it goes underneath the axle, originally it was hitting the diff, so I put a grommet in between it, but once I tightened it down to the back half, it seemed to straighten out. So I'm gonna start it up in a few minutes, but I'm gonna go underneath it one more time to make sure nothing's hitting. And we're all clear. Yep, 3-inch stainless steel all the way down, straight pipe. It's a 3.5 inch dual exhaust. So excited. All right, guys, everything's installed. Everything looks good, nothing's hitting. Let's go ahead and jump in and give it a first start.